Hi, I'm Mr. Disco. Welcome to my studio. Today, we're going to introduce a collage project using materials you can find around your house. With this collage project, we're going to talk a little bit about complementary colors. So we'll do a little bit of work with the color wheel so you can figure out what complementary colors are and which ones you want to kind of use to generate your image. And yeah, as always with something like this, especially whenever you're working with collage, you'll want to make sure you have permission to use any of the materials that you're going to collage with, and of course any of the tools and supplies that we will need along the way. Yeah, let's get started. Okay, so for today's project, we're going to be doing a collage. Collage is taking various images and items and pasting them together to create a new image. So I've laid down our clean piece of paper, other supplies that we're going to want to have, since we're going to be using different images. We'll need to be able to cut them out, so you want some different scissors. We'll be gluing them down, so you can use just your regular school glue or one of the glue sticks. It'll probably be a little bit easier. And then once you have everything laid out, maybe you want to go in and draw some more details, so grab some pencils or pens, and then grab something to color with, since we will be working with color. But if you want to add some more of your own, just get some additional things to color with too. All right, next we'll get together our collage materials. Okay, so some of the types of things that you'll be using to collage together. We've got classic things like magazines. Use ad flyers. Maybe old drawings and projects that you weren't happy with, that you've saved, that you want to reuse. Cut up pieces of construction paper, scraps that people have left behind. Got a couple beat up comic books. You can even use stickers. Got some colored tape that you can use, or heck, even post-it notes. These are all acceptable materials because pretty much anything that you can glue to the paper can work as a piece of a collage. So the other component to our project for today is going to be working with color. And I want you to make a color wheel with me today. So with the collage materials that you have, go through and see if you can find examples of the primary colors. So our primary colors are yellow, red, and blue. And with these, we would mix them together to be able to get our secondary colors. So once you've found your red, yellow, and blue, and you've laid it out on your paper, you don't have to glue anything down yet, you'll start finding your secondary colors. So with the secondary colors, yellow and blue make green, yellow and red make orange, and red and blue make purple. So once you've gotten all that, once you've found all of those colors, and 6 colors in total, your primary is your red, your blue, and your yellow, and then your secondary is your purple, your green, and your orange. Once you have those found, and you lay them out like this, we'll start figuring out what the complementary colors are. And those are colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. So with this one, we've got red, its complement is green. Purple, its complement is yellow. And blue, its complement is orange. So now that we have that laid out, and hopefully you have your examples of the primary and secondary colors picked out, look at them, figure out which two you want to work with kind of as the foundation for the rest of your image. For me personally, I want to work with orange and blue, so I'm going to set the other colors aside, and I'm going to keep these two off to the side as I start picking out my collage materials to start creating my image. Okay, so some of the materials I've been working with. So I got this nice blue piece of paper, and I got this nice kind of orange scrap that I had. When I was looking at the way the cuts were in it, it kind of made me think of clouds. So whenever I was flipping through one of the magazines, I found some different pictures with, obviously, with clouds in them. So I just cut those out to kind of keep with what we already had. So I'll kind of sort some of these out and just kind of laying things out. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Whatever you really, however you want it to look. So I've got maybe kind of a little bit of a sunset happening here, and I'm kind of happy with that. So going with that idea, had this old house cut out. And kind of like that. Not sure I'm totally sold on that one. So I mentioned we're going to cut stuff out. So here's one of my old drawings. I cut some of it out already, but of course, if you don't already know how to use scissors, carefully cut. It's a pretty straight line. That was easy to do. So I don't know. These a little bit smaller. We'll just kind of tuck them back there. Got a couple houses going here. Make a little neighborhood. So then just kind of drop stuff in. Found this kind of orangish piece to kind of complete, maybe make a little bit of a ground here. We'll drop that in, cover up some of that house. And so this is just kind of a way to like rough in some ideas. I haven't glued anything down yet. I'm just kind of laying things out and playing around. And that's really kind of the way to start, is just kind of have some fun. Not real happy with the way that worked, so we're just going to cut these up a little more, and we'll split them out more. So I'm going to put this one here, this one over here. Okay, so kind of got an idea of where I want to put things, and I'll keep working on it and tweaking it as we go, but we should really start gluing some of this down, right? So I'm going to take some of the stuff off. Now, obviously, got your regular classic school glue, so this will work just fine, but I'll show you the downside to it. If you put too much on, oh, that's a silly sound, huh? Oof. So, oh, I'm getting kind of close to the edge because I want it to stick down all nice, and maybe I've put a little too much on here. We'll find out here in a second what happens. So let's flip it over and put it roughly here, and then when I go to push it down, oh, glue's leaking out underneath. It'll dry clear, so ultimately not that big of a deal, but you're going to see where that glue is. So that's why I also had mentioned having the glue stick. So like this one, it is purple, but it'll dry clear. So if you notice, when you go to put that on, I mean, I've gotten a little on the paper there because I'm not being as careful as I should be, but whenever I go to glue it in, I don't have to worry about the glue smudging out the sides. So it's just kind of a thing to consider whenever you're choosing what kind of glue, if you have options, what glue you're going to use, or how to maybe be more careful whenever you're spreading the glue out. So the other piece we'll talk about, and you look at the variety of blues that I've gotten just from 3 pieces of paper there too. The other thing I want to talk a little bit about is cutting. So you can be really precise, pre-cut a couple things. So I've got this little kitty. So you can be a little more precise if you want, or, you know, you can just kind of, with this bird or this fish here, you can be a little more haphazard and leave more of the white out. It's up to you, however careful you can be or want to be. There's no wrong answer in doing this. I do want to show an example though. So let's say I also want to use this dog here. You know, just kind of carefully cut out that shape. Move. Whoop. And since I have the paper, I just tore the page right out of the ad circular. And I can move not just my hands, but you can move the paper around while you're cutting too. That way you get a slightly more kind of precise cut and have more of the dog and less of that white background that is on the paper. So, and again, it's all up to how detailed you want to be. Trying to move fairly quick since we're doing this as a demonstration. But there, now I've got I seem to have lost the bird and the fish, but they'll come back somewhere. But yeah, now I've got a big little kitty and a puppy that I can play with on this image too. Again, keep in mind, I'm going to use this orange here. And the dog and the kitten kind of have an orangish color too, so it works with that complementary orange and blue color theme that I was looking at. Let's see. So we talked a little bit about how to cut very carefully, but sometimes to make like a little more interesting of a texture, an added feature, you can also just tear out the shape. So you get a more kind of almost sometimes natural looking shape. As opposed to, you know, this has that nice sharp edge to it too. But then I've also got this kind of weird little torn paper shape that I can tuck up there too, just to have an added kind of shape as opposed to just having nice clean cut. So you can add this variety to get all sorts of different textures lining up, as well as the different colors that we were talking about. And if you notice, I'm not being super cautious about breaking like the edge of the paper, like the way I just plopped that one down there and kind of with that excess glue that we had earlier, just glued it right on place. And that's fine. We don't have to be beholden to this edge. If we want to break it a little bit or a lot, we can. That's one of the great things about working with collage. There's no real hard and fast rules. Just keep working on it until you're happy with what you have. Obviously, I've kind of laid out leaning more towards like a landscape idea. And this is nowhere near what I would consider complete. It's a really nice kind of starting point for me. I would kind of keep working on this, I don't know, till I felt like it was finished. Let it dry, come back, maybe look at it again, make changes, pull things off, put things back on. If like right now I wasn't happy with that, I wanted to cover up that dog more, maybe I would, and it was already glued down, maybe I just have to glue something else over top of it. Again, these are all options you can kind of keep exploring. So keep working on your project until you're satisfied with what you have. If you're really excited about it, feel free to share it with me. I'll put a link to a blog post down below, and also have a link to my Instagram page if you want to see some of the other work that I make. Thank you for watching.